Hello everyone! From toxic deserts and high mountain peaks where the air is thin, to wandering the most dangerous streets on Earth. Get ready for a shocking journey through the world's most perilous places. Let's get it on. Pripyat is an abandoned city in Ukraine that's become a legend for those fascinated by the post-apocalyptic theme. Established in 1970 as a satellite town for the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, it was evacuated on April 26, 1986, following a catastrophic accident at the plant's fourth reactor. Decades later, Pripyat still suffers from radioactive fallout and remains closed to the public. The only way for regular people to enter the exclusion zone is through authorized tourist excursions. In many areas, the radiation isn't severe enough to be a direct health hazard. Nowadays, the streets of Pripyat are cloaked in vegetation, and the dilapidated buildings featuring Soviet symbols gradually fall apart, creating an atmosphere like no other. Scientists estimate that it'll take another 50 to 60 years before people can safely return to the 30-kilometer exclusion zone surrounding the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. In that time, the radioactivity will diminish, and the most dangerous substances will be securely sealed away. The Citarum River in Indonesia is notorious for being the dirtiest river in the world. The first thing you'll notice if you visit its banks is the overwhelming stench of decaying waste, mixed with the sharp odor of chemical pollutants. The environmental statistics for the Citarum River are absolutely shocking. For instance, the concentration of lead exceeds the safe drinking water standard by a staggering 1,000 times, and the level of fecal coliform bacteria is 5,000 times above acceptable limits. About 5 million people live in the river basin. Most of them lack access to proper waste disposal, leading to a situation where everything, including vast amounts of plastic, is either burned or thrown into the river. Another part of the problem is the industry. The region is home to over 2,000 factories, primarily textile mills, that discharge chemical waste directly into the river. According to environmentalists, 60% of the fish population in the Citarum River has died due to pollution. Additionally, people forced to use this water for daily needs and cooking suffer from a wide range of health issues, including dermatitis, chronic bronchitis, cancer, and developmental delays in children. In 2009, the Asian Development Bank allocated $500 million for a river cleanup project, yet the situation remains dire. Activists claim that many factories are still polluting the river through hidden pipes. It's hard to believe that in the 21st century there are still tribes living in complete isolation from civilization. One such tribe is the Sentinelese, known for their fierce nature. They inhabit North Sentinel Island, a small island in the Bay of Bengal that's part of the Andaman archipelago. The island is entirely covered in dense tropical forest and is surrounded by a protective coral reef, which, however, suffered significant damage from a powerful tsunami in December 2004. We have very limited information about the island and its inhabitants, because these Sentinelese don't allow anyone to approach their shores. They immediately attack boats and helicopters with bows and arrows, and show no intention of making contact. Anthropologists believe this tribe has lived in complete isolation for around 30,000 years, maintaining a lifestyle akin to that of Stone Age hunter-gatherers. The exact number of Sentinelese remains unknown, as dense jungles shield them from aerial observation. Lahore is the capital of the Punjab province and the second largest city in Pakistan, with a metropolitan population of around 10 million people. Lately, this large city has been grappling with severe air pollution. which is causing respiratory illnesses in the local population. The dense smog, noticeable even to the eye, is produced by various factories, the incineration of farm waste, and emissions from diesel vehicles. During still weather, it's really hard to breathe in this area, and not many households can afford air purifiers. Environmental experts estimate that the air quality index stands at 348, significantly above the dangerous level of 300. This is why you can't be calm living next to a volcano. Mount Sinabung, a stratovolcano in northern Sumatra, Indonesia, stands at 1,133 meters. Locals had no worries for over 400 years, but everything changed in August 2010 when the volcano erupted unexpectedly. The gas and ash emissions forced residents of 12 nearby villages to abandon their homes and flee to safety. Since then, Sinabung has remained active, with about 10 eruptions occurring over the past few years. These eruptions have included lava flows and volcanic ash columns, with hot gas reaching altitudes of up to 3 kilometers. Following the powerful eruption on February 11, 2014, this part of Sumatra became nearly abandoned. In total, around 20,000 people had to relocate to other areas due to the volcanic activity. A journey along the Amazon River can be quite an adventurous and risky experience. This mighty river flows into the Atlantic Ocean, forming one of the largest deltas in the world, covering over 100,000 square kilometers. The Amazon rainforest is astonishingly rich in biodiversity, home to more than 1 million different species of plants and animals. It's truly a global genetic treasure. Within this rich ecosystem, there are several aggressive species that pose lethal risks to humans. Jungle adventurers must be wary of poisonous snakes, giant anacondas, and centipedes. In the water, one should be particularly cautious of the black caiman, which can reach lengths of over 4.5 meters, as well as the fearsome piranha with its dangerously sharp teeth. The Danakil Depression, found in the northern Afar Basin in the Ethiopia-Eritrea border, offers some of the most surreal and colourful landscapes on Earth. This unique geographical formation is full of mysteries, featuring sulfur springs, volcanoes, geysers, acidic pools, and vast salt flats. One thing is certain about Danakil: the conditions here are utterly inhospitable to humans. This 250-kilometer-long depression is one of the lowest places on Earth, sitting 125 meters below sea level and claiming the title of the hottest place based on average temperature. It never drops below 34 degrees Celsius throughout the year, and rain is a rare occurrence, falling only a few times annually. The air is heavy with the scent of rust, hydrogen sulfide, and chlorine due to volcanic and geothermal activity. The lakes are so salty that birds that accidentally plunge into them die almost instantly. Even for the Afar people who have roamed these lands for centuries, visiting the toxic lowlands is a daunting challenge. Scientists studying extreme environments and ecosystems refer to expeditions here as journeys into a realm of death. Mount Everest, also known as Sagarmatha or Komolangma, is the world's highest peak, standing at 8,848 meters. The Sherpas in eastern Nepal refer to it as the mountain above which birds cannot fly. Located in the Himalayas within the Mahalanga Himal range, it forms the border between Nepal and Tibet. Its summit resembles a three-sided pyramid, characterized by a steep southern slope that barely retains snow and ice. Being the highest mountain on the planet, Everest has long captivated climbers. The first successful summit was achieved in 1953 by local Sherpa Tenzing Norgay and New Zealander Edmund Hillary. By 1983, just 8 people had managed to reach the top, as the climbing conditions are notoriously difficult. To navigate the challenging terrain, it's important to consider the weather conditions on all potential routes to the summit. In July, the average daily temperature on top of Everest is minus 19 degrees Celsius, but in winter, it can plummet to minus 36 degrees, with extreme lows of minus 60 degrees. Moreover, the summit lies at the edge of a high-altitude jet stream, making it prone to storms with wind speeds reaching 160 kilometers per hour. Summer monsoons can also result in heavy snowfall on Everest.
Oh, well.
At an altitude of 7,925 meters, climbers enter the death zone. The air here contains only a third of the oxygen found at sea level, which is why most climbers use oxygen masks. Numerous fatalities among high-altitude climbers stem from the harsh conditions at the death zone, including both direct effects like oxygen deprivation and low pressure, and indirect effects such as stress and fatigue that can result in tragic mistakes. Over the past 100 years of Everest expeditions, more than 300 climbers have died. Fatalities have been caused not only by health problems, but also by avalanches, falls, and ice carving. The legendary favelas of Rio de Janeiro have a notorious reputation. These areas are marked by inexpensive, haphazard construction, where poverty and crime prevail, and violence has become a way of life. The term favela has its roots in the late 19th century, initially describing an area on the Morro de Favela hill where the first slums began to emerge. The early inhabitants of these shacks were often former soldiers, refugees, freed slaves, and poor immigrants from Europe. Throughout the 20th century, the growth of favelas was fueled by urbanization and escalating social challenges. Today, unemployment and organized crime associated with illegal substances are still major issues. Today, approximately 1.5 million people live in Rio's informal settlements. These favelas, spread out over the hills, are controlled by various gangs. For visitors or oblivious tourists without a guide, exploring these neighborhoods can come at a high cost. The police typically only show up during raids. Despite government's efforts to develop infrastructure and integrate these neighborhoods, they still function as a separate realm with their own strict rules. Over recent years, Fukushima has emerged as a widely recognized symbol of the grave risks associated with nuclear energy. On March 11, 2011, Japan experienced its most powerful earthquake ever, registering 9 on the Richter scale. The most tragic outcome of these events was the radiation disaster at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, which was rated a maximum level 7 incident on the International Nuclear Event Scale. The tsunami almost instantly disabled the power plant, taking out the emergency cooling systems as well. This caused the reactors to overheat, resulting in the melting of the nuclear fuel and explosions in 3 reactor blocks from March 12 to 15. A large quantity of volatile radioactive substances was released into the environment, with iodine and cesium, considered particularly hazardous to health, making up roughly 20% of the emissions seen during the Chernobyl incident. Cesium is especially concerning due to its long half-life of 30 years, leading to lasting contamination. Due to the dangerous level of contamination, the government evacuated approximately 164,000 residents from Fukushima Prefecture and created a 20-kilometer exclusion zone around the nuclear station. Although cleanup efforts began almost immediately after the disaster, many municipalities have been deemed safe for resettlement. Yet people are hesitant to return to contaminated areas. For instance, in one of the reconstruction and revival zones, which covers 28 square kilometers and used to be home to 8,000 residents, only 160 have returned after decontamination. Over the years without human presence, once cozy places have transformed into eerie, post-apocalyptic landscapes. No other country faces the devastating force of tornadoes like the United States, which sees about 1,000 tornadoes annually. A particularly dangerous area known as Tornado Alley includes parts of the central and southern states, northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and eastern regions of South Dakota and Colorado. There are clear reasons for this zonal pattern. In the heart of the US, warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico collides with cold, dry winds from the north. This results in temperature inversions and an unstable atmosphere, which can trigger intense thunderstorms, hail, and tornadoes. Tornado Alley is particularly hazardous from April to June, attracting storm chasers from all over the globe during these months. For those who live here permanently, the threat of tornadoes is a constant source of anxiety. The cities in these states have strict building codes, and many structures are equipped with underground shelters. Additionally, residents are warned of approaching tornadoes by special sirens. Despite these precautions, the force of nature can be overwhelming. This video shows the aftermath of a powerful EF3 tornado that struck the town of Andover, Kansas in the spring of 2022, destroying over 100 homes in just a few minutes. The Death Valley in California is arguably one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. Nestled in the Mojave Desert, this basin between the mountains lies southeast of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Rainfall here is a rare event, with an average annual total of less than 10 millimeters. However, the area enjoys plenty of sunshine, with average high temperatures in July reaching 46 degrees Celsius. In fact, back in 1913, it recorded the highest temperature ever measured in the Western Hemisphere, at a scorching 56.7 degrees Celsius. The climactic phenomenon of the basin, which is also the lowest point in North America at 86 meters below sea level, poses a serious threat to travelers. Tourists are strongly advised to carry communication devices, water, and clothing that protects against sunburn. The valley was named after a tragic event in 1849, when a gold prospector died here from the sweltering heat. It's hard to believe that in the 21st century, ships still need to be equipped with defenses against pirate boarding. In response to the piracy crisis that escalated in the Gulf of Aden in the early 2000s, sailors from various countries had to take certain measures. This gulf, located in the Arabian Sea, plays a crucial economic role as a shipping route for transporting oil from the Persian Gulf to Europe. Criminals from Somalia, a country ravaged by civil war, took advantage of this situation. A large segment of the population has turned to piracy as a way of life. Equipped with guns and grenade launchers, pirates in small boats launched assaults on tankers and civilian ships, subsequently demanding ransoms in the millions for their release. Several dozen sailors have either died or disappeared as a result of these attacks. In just a few years, pirates have captured numerous vessels, with their profits exceeding the GDP of Somalia. In 2010 alone, the damage caused by ship seizures amounted to $8 billion. It wasn't until 2012, after the UN passed a resolution allowing military vessels from various countries to enter Somali territorial waters and engage with pirates, that regular maritime piracy was effectively curtailed. Seen from above, the 43-hectare Quimada Grande Island looks beautiful and enticing. However, that charm fades once you learn its dark secret. In fact, it's illegal to even approach this island off the coast of Sao Paulo, Brazil. This place is one of the most dangerous in the world, home to around 4,000 snakes. This natural serpentarium formed around 11,000 years ago, when rising sea levels cut the island off from the mainland. As a result, a massive endemic population of golden lancehead vipers emerged here, with an incredible density of 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. making it nearly impossible for a person to move without stepping on one. Hundreds of golden lanceheads lie on the beach, while on trees and bushes they twist together in enormous coils. These snakes are quite large, reaching up to a meter in length, with thick heads and a golden color adorned with dark spots. The intense competition for food has made them champions of venom toxicity. A mouse bitten by one dies within 2 seconds, and their venom is also deadly to humans, leading to a range of horrific consequences, including kidney failure, internal bleeding, and tissue necrosis. These desolate places feel like a strange dream or scenes from a video game. In this video, we see Tianducheng, one of China's ghost towns, a scaled-down version of Paris. We often think of ghost towns as once thriving places that have become deserted. However, in modern China, it's quite the opposite. There are entirely new developments, neighborhoods, or even entire cities built to accommodate large populations, but now left uninhabited. A case in point is Tianducheng, which was built in 2007 with the intention of housing 10,000 people. The causes are rooted in the economic sector. For many years, the country enjoyed a construction boom, but in certain regions, developments were made hastily without analyzing the market. Sometimes, people buy properties as investments but don't move into new buildings due to lack of infrastructure. One notable example is Ordos City. Established in 2004 at the center of the coal industry, a suburb was designed for 1 million residents. Yet, only 30,000 people relocated there in the first 8 years. It's intriguing that in the lively and bustling environment of China, we find such deserted and eerily quiet places. These aren't exactly the charming animals you hope to see while exploring nature. But on Fraser Island off the eastern coast of Australia, it's quite common. The world's largest sand island spans 1,840 square kilometers and is literally teeming with wildlife that isn't particularly friendly to humans. Over the past 750,000 years, volcanic sand has accumulated on the island, forming dunes that shift continuously through dense mangrove forests and swamps. Over the course of evolution, a unique and isolated ecosystem has developed here, featuring 47 species of animals, 354 species of birds, and 79 species of reptiles, including 19 types of snakes. Among the local spider population is the Hadroniche infensa spider, one of the most venomous spiders on the planet. The most notable inhabitants of Fraser Island are the dingoes, with a population of around 200. Warnings about these reddish dogs are posted everywhere, and campgrounds are fenced with electric barriers. Visitors and fishermen should keep in mind that although they may look innocent, dingoes are wild pack animals and can be quite dangerous. "300 meters beneath the Mexican town of Naica lies one of the most captivating places on Earth, the Cave of Crystals. This remarkable section of a mine where silver, zinc, and lead are extracted was discovered by miners in 2000. Giant selenite crystals stretch across the cave in various directions, with the largest measuring an astonishing 11 meters long, 4 meters wide, and weighing 55 tons. But don't be too quick to celebrate. The beauty of this cave can be deceptive. This place poses serious risks to health and life. The cave is constantly flooded, and water must be removed. Humidity levels reach 100%, and temperatures inside the cave can soar to 58 degrees Celsius. Even with cooling equipment, you can't stay here for more than 20 minutes. Otherwise, water will start to condense in your lungs. The Crystal Cave showcases nature's power and beauty, but it also serves as a reminder of the fragility of human life. The boiling lake is located in the island nation of Dominica, surrounded by the tropical forests of Montois Piton National Park. You can't drive to the lake. Visitors will have to trek approximately 13 kilometers through beautiful paths, navigating the Titel Gorge, the Breakfast River, and the sulfur springs in the Valley of Desolation. Those who make it there are greeted by a strange sight, a lake that resembles a boiling cauldron filled with a greyish liquid. Swimming in this 60-meter wide body of water is definitely a bad idea, as the temperature in the boiling lake reaches 92 degrees Celsius. There are also pockets of hot air or even lava underneath. This phenomenon occurs because Boiling Lake is a flooded fumarole, an opening in the rock at the base of a volcano. Water from the streams and rainfall seeps down into the magma, heating up to a boiling point and dissolving various chemical substances. Even being near the lake is uncomfortable, as the air is hot and humid with a strong sulfur smell. The invisible steam particles rising from the lake can also be dangerous for your skin and eyes.